Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big, weird, wild world out there, folks. And here we stand, al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's a Natch, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
That's right, boys and girls, you're listening to the one and only ProBoh Show, coming to you live at 8:30 a.m. Central European Time. Oh, it's good to be back, Natch. Good to be back to my regular schedule. I did the shows on Monday and Tuesday. By the way, guys, if you're listening on the radio, there are 2 whole episodes that will never be aired on Vaughan Radio. Why? Because this show is a podcast that I lend to the radio. So there's a whole world out there. If you're not one of our angelic podcast listeners, you can go ahead and find those 2 secret episodes on any good podcast network. All right, my friends, what's coming up in today's show? Well, in today's 100 Humans, I asked 100 humans about food, particularly food that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Then in Complete the News, we go back to the famous Florida man, find out why he was speeding, and we find out what UK internet users may lose access to. And Complete the News, but all that fun, my friends, in the second half. In the first half, we have a really great unpopular opinion today, which seemed to be quite popular on Instagram. But more of that later. Right now, I want to catch up with the Natch. How you doing, Natch?
Hello.
It's nice to see you, man. I missed you. Doing the show without you feels weird. You know, it's like when you buy a new pair of pants or a new jacket. And it's your size, but it just feels kind of weird. That's what it's like to do the ProBoh Show. Sans the Natch. So what did you do? You said you went, we had a brief conversation earlier. You said you went to Parque Warner, right?
Yes.
The Warner Brothers Park. It's like Disneyland, but cheaper and in my opinion, a little better.
Yes, but too many people for me.
Dude, yeah. That's it. That's like, what's the main problem with planet Earth right now? Too many people for me. Too many people. I don't know what happened in the metro this morning, but it was blissfully empty. Oh! Like on Friday, I told you, right? I was doing the Cobra with an East Indian dude. Could feel his breath on my neck. How are we doing? All right, let's see. If you want to join in with the content live, you can do that at twitch.tv/Professional Bohemian, or just go to Twitch, type in Professional Bohemian, you will find me there. Who's here right now? Well, let me tell you guys, we've got a star-studded cast in the audience today. We have, of course, The Bridge, Pedro, Min, JC, and a very special guest. Can we get a little drum roll? Born to Iron Man. Can we get a little drum roll, Natch? Just a tiny little one. Mama Bo. My mum's in the chat. Yeah. How you doing, Mum? Yeah, I was going to call my mum this week. Did I say that I was going to call you this weekend, Mum? And I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm a bad son. I'm a bad son. I've lost so many son points, Natch. Yeah, I'm at a deficit. I have to get my mum something really good for her birthday. So, yeah, how are you doing out there, friends? It's nice to be back in the studio in my natural habitat. Let's take a brief look at what's going on in the world. I came across an article this morning on my way into work from the BBC, from the US Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy. And he says, well, let me just read it to you. US Surgeon General recounts a bout of profound loneliness. And he has warned the country is facing an epidemic of loneliness that is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Fíjate. Vaya lío que hemos metido. No, that was bad. It was good for a second, then it went bad. I don't get a full nivelazo. Half a nivelazo. It's true. Yeah, do you ever suffer loneliness, Natch? I suppose as a family man, loneliness isn't really a thing for you, right?
No. It's a desire more than and anything else.
I hear you. Yeah, as a single middle-aged dude, yeah, I feel I occasionally have bouts of loneliness, and I smoke. So God knows what that's doing to my body. 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness is as dangerous as 15 cigarettes a day. That means like I'm suffering 3 times as much as everyone else. I'm smoking like if you count my loneliness, I'm smoking at least 50 cigarettes a day. How are you doing, Sasha, joining us from Australia? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Robert, this is from Min. If you have time to talk to me on Discord, you have time to call your mom. Oh, I know. It's true. I sent I was sent Min some Discord messages yesterday. It's true. Yeah, I've got no excuse other than, I'm a bad son. I feel bad now, You've thrown me off my stride, guys. So here we go. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy told BBC News that he was among millions of Americans who have experienced a profound sense of loneliness. I know what you want, friends. I know what you want. You want some numbers. Well, apparently nearly 50% of all Americans are thought to have been affected by these bouts of loneliness. Loneliness is reported to increase the risk of premature death by almost 30%. Let that sink in, my friends. It will increase your risk of a premature death by 30. I'm getting worried. No more coffee for me. I'm on the brink right now. My dudes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sasha. Afternoon in Australia. Wow. Rob, don't smoke too much. I won't. I've actually been thinking, Natch, about getting one of those electrical, the little tiny cigarettes that you put inside the IQOS or something. Oh, IQOS. Give me a free goddamn thing. I'm talking about you on the radio. I want a free cigarette heater thing. I tried one over the weekend, and you know what? It was okay. Like, it's the next thing. I feel like the IQOS cigarette is my next attempt at giving up smoking for 3 days, and then it sits in a drawer forever. I think that's it's gonna live. It's gonna live with my vapes, my my patches, my gum in a drawer of shame. I'm thinking of buying one to add to my collection of things that I'm going to use to quit smoking. The box of shame, guys, growing bigger every day. We'll be listening in while I do my assessments. All right, Sasha. Good. What else has been going on in the world? So yeah, don't be lonely, guys. Don't be lonely. At least I'm not an AI robot. I'm a real, fallible human being who needs to call his mum more. Okay, Google and Microsoft CEOs are called into an AI meeting at the White House. At the Casa Blanca. This from Reuters. Chief executives of Alphabet, which is Google, for those of you not in the loop, and Microsoft, OpenAI, and Anthropic will meet with Vice President Kamala Harris and top administration officials to discuss key artificial intelligence issues on Thursday, said a White House official. Interesting. Things are starting to take off in terms of regulating AI. I said yesterday, I know you were listening to the show, Natch. I know. So you'll remember yesterday when I spoke about the Google, the godfather of AI, really. Someone who created systems that were then used in GPT and things like that. He quit Google. So he could openly voice his opinions on the dangers of AI. So it's interesting to see the world now finally starting to react. In my opinion, a little bit too late, because now the ball is rolling. You can't stop the ball. You can only maybe push it in a certain direction. I have an idea, Rob, for quitting smoking. Tell me, Bridge. I'm interested in, if it's a new gadget, tell me. I'll buy it and it will live in my drawer of shame. Yeah, so let's see what happens there. Again, guys, all these links live in my Patreon when I post the shows. Go to my Patreon, Professional Bohemian on Patreon. You sign up there and you have all the access to all the links if you want to deep dive any of these stories. And finally, I wanted to do it. Quit smoking, says the Bridge. That's not. I need more than encouragement, Bridge. It's not my fault the cigarettes are so delicious. Don't smoke, kids. # don't smoke, kids. Best way to quit smoking, kids, never to start. Okay, let's continue. Does it worry you, Natch? I did a little poll on yesterday's show, like, are you scared for the future with AI? And people said no. 75% of people said no.
No, so far, no.
Me neither, because for me, like, the people who are kicking up the most amount of dust are billionaires. You know? I mean, really, it's a tool that democratizes a lot of work. So I can see why billionaires might be a little worried. For every smoke you take, you send me $100, says Min. I can't do that. Because I smoke 20 a day, and that would literally make me bankrupt, Min. Let's see how quickly you stop. Yeah, well, look, I'll let you know how it goes with the ICOS. I will give you a daily update. Okay. Well, let's continue anyway. Federal judge in rules that Pennsylvania school district must allow an after-school Satan club. This is from The Hill. So a school district in Pennsylvania must allow students to convene an after-school Satan club, a federal judge ruled on Monday. Now, if you're fresh to this story, you're thinking, why? When they're so kind of... When schools in America now are cracking down on the Christianity and things, and freedom of speech... Are these people really interested in Satan, or are they just aprovechando of religious freedom? In a victory for free speech and religious freedom, a federal court ruled that a Saucon Valley school district must allow an after-school Satan club to meet in facilities. So there you go. If you're into Satan, go to Pennsylvania. Do you remember we did a story a while ago as well about a school district in Texas, a public school district in Texas, where they made people put the Ten Commandments in every classroom. You know, using similar things like religious freedom. You can't keep the Ten Commandments, it's religious freedom. Well, it warms my soul, my black little soul, to see some school kids in Pennsylvania aprovechando of that rule. It's a win-win in my book, says Min. Yeah, it's a win in your book, not a win in my book, Min, if I give you €100 per cigarette. I'd already owe you €300. All right, guys, with all that said, we've got a big unpopular opinion today, so let's go there right now.
Unpopular opinion.
And by the way, guys, thank you for tuning in. Oh my God, it's nice to see so many of you here live. It's awesome, guys. If you want to join in with the crew live, twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Right now, it's time for our unpopular opinion. Today's unpopular opinion is saying that nobody will love you until you love yourself is wrong. Saying that nobody can love you until you love yourself is wrong. I posted that on my Instagram, as I tend to do. If you want to join in those polls, by the way, guys, you can find me on Instagram at professional bohemian. How do you think people voted, Natch? In this age of love yourself, you're a special butterfly. How do you think people voted?
I think 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised, Natch. I was completely shocked. 83% said true. Said yes. Saying nobody can love you until you love yourself is wrong. And I was surprised because I did something similar maybe 10 months ago and got quite a lot of pushback. But to be fair, the one that I did 10 months ago was something about just specifically saying the whole love yourself movement, saying that love yourself is not a healthy way to live, not a healthy mantra. Well, here, using the same logic, you know, this is, I'm sure you've heard it before. You got to love yourself or nobody else can love you. Using that same mantra, I'm kind of gonna use it against against my previous arguments, or people who were against me in the previous argument. So I got some messages. Mia says, I totally disagree with that saying. Sometimes it's the love from others that helps us learn to love ourselves. We all need support. Thank you, Mia. Eric says, from logical standpoint, it's flawed. Loving oneself is a continuous process, and external love can positively influence our own self-perception. Oh, Eric, I love that. Can we get a ProBoh approved?
ProBoh approved.
Jeez, Eric. Kiera, I think that is. As an artist, I think that saying is so wrong. Love is not meant to be conditional. It's like a melody that connects us all, even when we're feeling down on ourselves. Okay, and Luke finally says, in my experience, that saying isn't right. I've seen plenty of people who don't love themselves, but they're still loved by their families and friends. Life is tough enough without making love conditional. Wow. What a change from when we did the argument, like, say love yourself is saying love yourself, or the love yourself kind of mantra is wrong. Let's see what people are saying. Self-love is important and incredibly difficult. This is coming from Min. This is coming direct from the Netherlands, folks. Self-love is important and incredibly difficult, but not necessary at all for others to love you. Well, let's see what the ProBoh Show elves have in store for us. I have a pro and a con argument here. So here we go. In the pro column, love and acceptance from others can play a significant role in helping individuals build self-love and confidence, even if they struggle with self-esteem. True love from friends, family, or romantic partners is often unconditional, not dependent on whether someone fully loves themselves or not. People are constantly growing and evolving. Expecting someone to completely love themselves before being loved by others may be an unrealistic expectation. And finally, in the pro column, agreeing with the statement or disagreeing with the statement, nobody can love you until you love yourself. The statement implies that self-love is a sole prerequisite for being loved, overlooking the importance of other factors like compatibility, shared values, and mutual respect in forming meaningful relationships. Wow. Well done, elves. Good arguments. Okay, disagreeing with that. The importance of self-love in relationships. So disagreeing with today's unpopular opinion. Individuals who have a strong sense of self-love are more likely to establish and maintain healthy boundaries in relationships, leading to more fulfilling and balanced connections. Those who love themselves are less likely to depend on others for validation and happiness, fostering more sustainable and independent relationships. A healthy level of self-love can make an individual more attractive to potential partners, and confidence and self-assuredness are often seen as desirable qualities. Loving oneself can contribute to emotional well-being and resilience, allowing individuals to better navigate the ups and downs of life in general. Okay, there you have it, guys. Those are the arguments. What do you think? Is the saying, nobody can love you until you love yourself wrong? I believe it is, but I'm here to be swayed, just like you guys. What do you think, Natch? What do you think about this? What's your opinion?
Well,
to be fair, I have no horse in this race. I'm terrible at relationships, as has been proved. You're the expert here.
No. But I think loving yourself is more important than receiving love from others, I think.
You think? Wow, okay.
I think. It's like the first step.
And do you think it's true that nobody can really love you unless you love yourself?
No, maybe you can be loved by somebody, but for me, it's preferable to love yourself.
Okay, good points. Give yourself a ProBoh approved, Natch.
ProBoh approved.
Constantly bereft of ProBoh approved, and you're always giving me the Nivelathos. You know what I mean? Take that as encouragement for when I say my next thing in Spanish. Let's see what Min says. Is life more difficult if you don't love yourself, or if there's no one else to love or be loved? Wow, that's a great question. Is life, I'm going to repeat that, is life more difficult if you don't love yourself, or if nobody loves you? Wow. What I mean, look, that's an amazing point. I think life would be more difficult if no one loved you. I mean, and again, you know my feelings on the idea of loving oneself. It's just a step away from narcissism. Like yourself, respect yourself, but love yourself. You know, just like the myth of Narcissus falling in love with his own reflection. Love yourself is a terrible phrase. And again, I don't think that loving yourself, well, if you don't love yourself, that nobody's going to really love you. I mean, we're all, hopefully, and at least I wish this for all the ProBoh Show listeners, we're all in the orbit of someone that loves us. You know, my mum's in the chat right now. You know, I'm surrounded by friends. I work with friends even. I'm very, very lucky to be in a loving environment. And whereas people may not love me per se, they like the respect and keep me they keep me grounded in a realistic emotional sense. I feel protected. And I think that's the key here, right? I think I feel protected. But why is it I've seen this so many times? Nobody can love you until you love yourself. Love yourself first, otherwise a relationship won't work. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be true. Like I think it was that Mia said. I totally disagree. Sometimes the love from others is what helps us love ourselves. And I think that's true, you know. We're all a reflection of the people we associate with. You know, I've said this many times. We tend to think our values are set in stone, but quite often our values reflect the situation that we're in or the people we surround ourselves with. So if that's true, and I do believe it is, then nobody can love you until you love yourself cannot be true. Simply cannot be true. Let's go back to the chat. The one in favor of self-love being necessary literally talks about more likely, more sustainable. That already means it's possible without. Just improved with self-love. Maybe that's a key. Maybe that's a factor. That maybe your relationships are improved if you love yourself. I can't see that being the case. I cannot see that being the case. Because if you love yourself, you put yourself before all others. You just adore yourself. I'm so great. Look at me. If you love yourself, then how are you really dedicating enough of that affection to a relationship? What about when a problem arises and you need to make a sacrifice for the betterment of the relationship? If you really love yourself, is that possible? It's possible if you like yourself. It's possible if you respect yourself. I don't know if it's possible if you love yourself. Let's continue. Anyway, the bridge says, I agree with Nacho. You are the only one who will always be with you. That's true too. That's true too. But look, we're not in the Walking Dead universe right now, guys. You know what I mean? There are tons of people out there. You can find someone out. Everyone can find someone out there that loves us. This is why this loneliness epidemic is so interesting for me. You know, the news that I spoke on earlier. Because really, no one's lonely. We all have family. We all have friends to some degree. It's interesting. One day we'll discuss loneliness and where it comes from. Quite often I felt lonely. The loneliest I felt is when I've been surrounded by people. Let's continue. Pedro here has some thoughts. He says, I think the saying is wrong if you consider loving yourself a condition for the existence of love of others for you. But it's right as a condition for you being able to perceive the love from others. If you don't appreciate yourself, can you really appreciate the love of others? I think not. Woo! ProBoh approved, sir.
ProBoh approved.
Yeah, if you don't love yourself, again, I hate that phrase. Can you really perceive the love of others? I mean, what is love? I mean, it's... What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. I mean, it's a chemical imbalance in the body, if we're going to be honest with each other, right? It's a chemical imbalance. When it eventually wears off, you're left with a profound friendship, maybe a perceived attractive, like physical desire for another person. But, you know, is it love as you first encountered it? Does not loving yourself mean you can't perceive love? I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself... I mean, I have struggled with my ego in the past, but I don't consider myself now a man who loves himself. I like myself, you know, most of the time, unless I act like an asshole, and then then I spend like a week feeling guilty or bad. But I like myself. I can perceive the love of others, even though I don't necessarily love myself. Let's see. Min says the brain is great. The brain is great at self-doubt and negative spirals. Sometimes you need people around you to help you see things in another light, whether it's realizing that your vision isn't right or that some of your flaws don't matter exactly. See, when you're in a position where you just don't love yourself, even the times where I've hated myself, that have provoked a positive change in me, usually it's because I've recognized that flaw thanks to someone else. It's hard to see a problem when you're in it. And I think I think it quite, in a big way, it's quite the opposite. I think, having someone loves you helps you love yourself, just like Mia said earlier. All right, guys, I have to go to a very quick commercial break. I will post this poll in the chat, and you guys are going to decide. Nobody can love you until you love yourself. Is that wrong? Is it right? You will tell me. Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. See you soon. Hey, guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the ProBoh Show live. If you're listening live, lucky enough to be listening live, it's currently 9 a.m. Central European Time. Welcome, welcome. Wow, we have a ton of people in the chat. You guys are doing awesome. My God. The poll is still live. If you're joining us live on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, you still have time to vote. Interesting vote, Natch. An interesting discussion in the chat. If you're just tuning in, what did you miss? We spoke about the Surgeon General of the US talking about profound loneliness being as dangerous to health. Loneliness, solitud. ¿Cómo se dice loneliness?
Soledad.
Soledad. Oh, what's solitude? Solitud is solitude, right? I don't know. Or did I just make up that word? I made it up. Okay, never mind.
Solitud no.
Okay. I will earn an evil laugh today. You watch me, friends. Even if I have to make up the whole Spanish language, I'm going to do it. A broken clock is right twice a day, Natch. I'll get there. So yeah, apparently loneliness is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And increases the risk of premature death by up to 30%. My God. Then briefly we covered the Google, Microsoft, basically the heads of the AI world being called into a meeting at the White House tomorrow. And very briefly spoke about a school district in Pennsylvania being forced to allow a satanic school club because of their pro-religious freedom and freedom of speech legislations. Interesting stuff. Then we went into today's unpopular opinion, which was saying nobody can love you until you love yourself is wrong. So, yeah, and then followed by some interesting discussion in the chat. I remember it being fascinating the last time we touched upon the idea of loving oneself. And there is a lot more thinking I need to do on this subject. I disagree with the idea of loving oneself. Mainly linguistically, I'm going to be honest. If they said, I'm all about, I agree with the idea of self-respect. I agree with liking oneself. Super important. I like this behavior in me. I do not like the other. Objectivity. Love to me suggests a lack of objectivity. Just a blind kind of faith. And that's where I start to draw the line. Okay, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Min said, promoting self-love or self-respect is important, but it shouldn't push towards keeping things to yourself or not relying on those around you at times, says Min. I agree, Min. Chris Valroll, good morning, amazing people. Good morning, Chris. It's Nice to see Chris Valroll in the chat saying self-love is a must in life. If you love and trust yourself, your life is going to be way better. I see eye to eye with Nacho and Yolanda, aka The Bridge. Good. Yeah, I mean, look, I will fully admit I may not be right in this. This is my opinion. And as we've covered several times in the show, opinions are like a certain part of the body. Everyone has one. They all stink. And I'm included in that, you know? And that's the great thing about this show, guys. It's where we can just express ourselves. This isn't a show that tells you what to think. It's a show that encourages you to think, you know? And that's what we're doing here. And that's why I'm very willing to admit I may be wrong. I may be wrong. Pedro says, maybe we have different interpretations for what self-love means. I believe it's more about acceptance than a narcissistic feeling for yourself. But I think self-acceptance is a great way to describe where we should all be heading towards. Accepting ourselves with our failures as well as our triumphs. But are you really learning from it if you're just accepting it? I do feel like it's a healthier phrase than love yourself. Mainly, my arguments with the idea of loving oneself are linguistic. I'll be honest. Min says 33% of chat be like, if my mom gets a depression, I can't love her anymore. Okay, a little bit of a spoiler there. Natch, let's go to the results, sir. Look, here we go. Here we go. Definitive answer, guys. I said, saying that no one can love you until you love yourself is wrong. 67% of you said true. True. It is wrong. It is wrong. You know what I mean? Just because moments in my life where I've objectively viewed my behavior and decided you are an asshole right now and you need to make amends. This has happened many times in my life. I've not liked myself. You know, I've not liked my reactions to things. I've not liked the way I've behaved. And I've used that as fuel to create a better me that I can like even more. You know, that didn't come through loving myself. Came through liking myself. And what Min says there in a quite a glib way, but it's completely accurate. 33% of you said, well, you know, if someone gets depressed, I'm not going to love them anymore. Yeah, I get it. Maybe self-acceptance, liking oneself, loving oneself, though. I mean, come on, think about love. Think about the what love means. People will love you to the extent that you love yourself. It's an energetic thing. It's not a narcissistic issue, as Pedro says Chris Valroll. Can we get a ProBoh approved for Chris Valroll?
ProBoh approved.
Guys, I love it. Even if I don't necessarily agree, that's what this show is about. It's about back and forth discussion. And I love it. You're doing great work today. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Min. Thank you, all of you guys who are commenting. I think it's more on the necessary for me. Having a relationship is easier with someone who accepts and respects themselves, but it's not a necessity. Humans sometimes need an extra bit of support. And I think, we'll maybe give Min the final word there on this issue. Maybe loving oneself, or as I prefer to say, liking oneself. It is important. It's important. Come on, we've got to appreciate the people that we are, because without that, it's hard to move forward and to really celebrate our successes. Okay, I would say, you know, maybe to correct the worst side of ourselves. Loving ourselves doesn't really help us do anything but accept the worst part of ourselves. Going to Jungian psychology and accepting your dark side. You know, but it is important. But is it necessary for someone to love you? I don't think so. And I think quite often a relationship, or those relationships, or loving relationships around you, actually help you love yourself more than the other way around. But anyway, it's a great discussion, guys. Thank you so much for being involved. Let's go to 100 humans. Oh my God, Natch! It was a long walk to work today. Across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered, sir, 100 humans. And I asked them all a question. Today's question was to name a food that does not need to be refrigerated. Name a food that does not need to be refrigerated. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I have 7 of the most popular answers right here. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. Hello, Eugene, joining us from Russia. How are you doing, sir? Yeah. Food that does not require, does not need to be refrigerated. I see one of the answers here. I'll talk about it later. Chris Valrol, okay, we'll finish off here. If you love and respect yourself, you won't be looking for that love outside. Relationships should be based on sharing. No one is born to make us happy. People get frustrated expecting things from others. Okay, thank you. On with 100 humans. Oof, got a lot of answers in the chat. Natch, what do you think? A food that does not need to be refrigerated.
Fabada litoral. Or in general,
Oh, wow.
conserva.
Dude, I love me a fabada. Fabada literal is better than any fabada I've had in a restaurant. I don't know what it... Well, maybe that's just my giddy taste buds, my foreigner taste buds, but I love fabada literal, man. I love it. It's the best. So I'll tell you what, I'll take fabada literal and I'll just take like canned foods. Okay, so canned foods. Is canned foods there? Yes, it is, sir. Well done, Natch. Canned foods is there. 6 of 100 humans said that. It's the 7th most popular answer. Well done, Natch. Okay, Eugene's on the board. He's kicking us off in the chat. He says bread. Also, Sasha says bread as well. So Eugene and Sasha both say bread. Pan, is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Food that does not need to be refrigerated. 35 of 100 humans said that. It's the most popular answer. Well done. Well done to Eugene. First answer and a correct answer. Killing it. Let's see. Min says pasta. Pasta, macarrones in Spanish. Pasta. Do you have a preferred pasta shape, Natch? A preferred shape of pasta you always buy?
No, I like spaghetti.
Spaghetti is your go-to.
Yeah.
I like tortellini, man. Tortellini, because you can dude. I've eaten when I go to the supermarket, I buy 4 bags of tortellini or ravioli, mainly tortellini, 2 tubs of pesto. That's literally been my diet over the holidays because the supermarkets were closed. Pasta and pesto, man. It's so easy. Okay, anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic. Pasta, macaronis, is it there? It's not there. Sorry, Min. Great answer, but not there. My grandmother used to make me tortellini en broda. Tortellini in, what do you say? How do you say it in Spanish? In caldo. Oh, and I still eat it to this day. It's delicious when I'm feeling ill. Okay. Rosie Graham's Mama Bo says eggs. Huevos. Con dos huevos. But not in the fridge. Is it there? Are eggs there? It's a great answer, but they're not there. Sorry. Eugene said cookies. Cookies. Like galletas. Cookies. Or biscuits in the UK. Biscuits, cookies. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. It's Eugene's round to lose right now. Eugene's killing it. 2 of the answers he got. Another 4 answers to go, friends. Bananas. Bananas, says Sasha. Bananas. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. With 16 of 100 humans, bananas is there. Well done, Sasha. Dude, I bought some bananas. Basically, it seems, just to let them turn into soup. That's what happened to them. I bought them. I left them out as decoration, as an adorno, and now they're soup. I don't know. I buy fruit with the best intentions, Natch. I just don't eat it. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Rice, says Min. Arroz. Rice. Is rice there? No, it's not. Sorry. Potatoes. Potatoes. Potatoes, says Sasha. Patatas. Are potatoes there? Yes, they are. Well done. You know, someone had the gall match to say, those are sound effects. You don't really have 100 humans in the studio. Can you believe that? Can you believe the lack of trust among the listeners? It makes me sick. So potatoes was there. Well done, Sasha. Sasha also killing it today. Most non-dairy beverages, although they will taste worse. I'll give you a clue. There are no beverages in the list. So beverages aren't there. Okay, Sasha, again, says chips. Chips, as they would say in the US and Australia. Crisps, we would say in the UK. I think you guys would say patatas, right? Patatas fritas or something like that. Yeah. Patatas, are they there? Chips. Yes, they are. Well done. You've only got one more to get. Okay, food that does not need to be refrigerated. There's so many here. Okay, so Chris Valrol said honey. Min says peanut butter. Or as we call it in the Netherlands, peanut cheese. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Whiskey, says Chris Valrol. I keep bananas in the fridge, says Eugene. Dude, even if I kept them in the fridge, they would still turn into soup. In fact, they would turn into soup and then live as soup in the fridge for years because I very rarely go in there. Garlic, says Chris Valrol. Patatas fritas are chips, not fries, says Min. They are both chips and fries in Spanish. Candies, says Eugene. Guys, none of those are there. Wah, wah, wah. Tell you what is there, though, the last answer. A product, I believe, invented by a man with the surname of Kellogg. It's a big clue, friends. What did Mr. Kellogg invent? Oh, I have one answer in the chat. Pedro said olive oil. Olive oil's not there. Oop, Min, Mama Bo have answered. What do you think it is, Natch?
Cereal.
Cereal, it's there. Well done. All right, let's break down the list. I asked 100 humans to name a food that does not need to be refrigerated. In position number 7, we had canned goods. Or as Nacho just hit the nail on the head, fabada litoral. Dude, fabada is like a bean stew. Oh, it's so good, friends. So good, but if you eat it, crack a window. Things that no naked flames. Let's see. In position number 6, we had cereal. In position number 5, with 8 of 100 humans, we had potatoes. In position number 4, with 10 of 100 humans saying it, were chips or crisps. In position number 3, were cookies. 13 of 100 humans said cookies or biscuits, or galletas if you prefer in Spanish. In position number 2, we had bananas. Bananas. 16 of 100 humans said that. And finally, in position number 1 was bread. Well done to Eugene. Well done to Sasha. Pedro, cornflakes, exactly. Cereals. It was originally created as an oh yeah, I did know that as well. I did. I saw a YouTube video about the invention of basically the war between fried foods like bacon and eggs and cereals. Really fascinating YouTube style documentary. Guys, Min has said it in the chat, but I would encourage you to find out why Kellogg's were invented. I can't say it on the radio, so you know it's not. So you know it's not clean. All right, friends. On that note, let's go to complete the news.
Complete the news.
That's right, friends. Complete the news time. You know how this works. I am going to give you a news headline, un titular. But I'm going to leave out some important information. You're gonna have to identify which of the three options I give you are correct in order to complete the news. Sounds more complicated than it is, but you'll catch the idea. So these are genuine news headlines. We're going to go to Florida first, Natch. We're going to go to Florida. Guys, if you know the answers to this, don't give spoilers. Just A, B, or C. I know there are a lot of people watching right now. This is your moment. All you have to write is A, B, or C. Here we go. First one. Florida man arrested for going 100 miles an hour. For driving 100 miles an hour. He claims he needed to blank. Oh. You know it's going to be a good one. You know it's going to be a good one. He claims he needed to blank. Florida man arrested for driving 100 miles an hour. He claims he needed to blank. Is it A, poo? Is it B, deliver a baby? Or is it C, go to Taco Bell? Ooh. So, a Florida man arrested for going 100 miles an hour claims he needed to blank. Is it A, poo, B, deliver a baby, or C, go to Taco Bell? You know it's a good one when everybody in the chat pauses, waiting for the first person to answer. Like, uh-oh, I don't know what this is. Let's let someone else make a mistake first. Florida man arrested for going 100 miles an hour claims he needed to A, poo, B, deliver a baby, C, go to Taco Bell. What do you think, Natch?
Go to Taco Bell.
You think C? Okay. Min agrees with you. I will salute Eugene for being the only person to say A, poo. Not often on the radio. On live radio, you get to say the word poo, so I'm going to take advantage while we're here, Natch. Okay, so the chat seems to be a consent. Ooh. Okay, no, C is in the lead. Chris Valroll has broken the tie. You're saying go to Taco Bell. Urs is here. He says A. Okay, it's a tie in chat between B and C. Natch breaks the tie by saying C as well. Okay, let's get a drum roll, Natch. Florida man arrested for going 100 miles an hour. He claims he needed to go to Taco Bell. Damn it, Natch. I would have won that one. Here we go. A Florida man was arrested for going 100 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. Police noticed Javon Jackson, 22, speeding while swerving in and out of traffic. Upon confrontation, he told the officer he was going 100 miles an hour, but before he could finish, Jackson interrupted and claimed he was only going 75 miles an hour. He just needed to get to Taco Bell, sir. If you want to read more on that story, again, it is in my Patreon, patreon.com, Professional Bohemian. We've got time for another one, Natch. We've got time for another one. This is a story from The Guardian. UK readers may lose access to blank amid online safety bill requirements. So there's a new bill being proposed into law with regards to online safety. And because of this bill, UK readers may lose access to something. Just to explain the news. So UK readers may lose access to blank amid online safety bill requirements. But what are they going to lose access to? Is it A, Wikipedia? Is it B, Pornhub? Or is it, Natch raised an eyebrow there like, oh, now it's getting serious. Or is it C, email? Woo! UK readers may lose access to blank amid online safety bill requirements. Is it A, Wikipedia, B, Pornhub, or C, email? It's a big one. It's a big one. Again, the chat is on pause. Min was the first brave soul to answer. So there is a new safety bill being proposed. Online safety bill. But because of it, UK users may lose access to something. Is it A, Wikipedia, B, Pornhub, or C, email? What do you think, Natch?
Wikipedia?
You think A, Wikipedia? You're the only person to answer that. Seems like the chat... I will salute Mama Bo for being the only person to say C, email. Everybody else is saying B, Pornhub. See where their minds are at on a Wednesday morning. You know, I like the way you think, guys. ProBoh approved. Okay, let's get a drum roll. UK readers may lose access to Wikipedia. Yeah. Amid online safety bill requirements, Natch, why can I not beat you today? You're plugged into the matrix, man. You just see, you don't see the numbers. Okay, so yeah, it's true. Wikipedia could be made inaccessible to UK readers due to issues over complying with the online safety bill. A charity affiliated with the website has warned. The chief executive of Wikipedia UK warned the popular site could be blocked because it will not carry out age verification if required to do so by the bill. Crompton Reed told the BBC it was definitely possible that one of the most visited websites in the world and a vital source of freely accessible knowledge and information for millions of people won't be accessible to UK readers. Wow, craziness. Although, is it necessarily a bad thing that they're doing the age verification or forcing age verification? I probably don't think so. But I don't think it's sites like Wikipedia that need to enforce that. I think it's much more social media sites. Maybe news sites that aren't sufficiently bipartisan. Let's see. Wasn't the UK going to do something with requiring to link your ID to your browser so you couldn't watch pornography if you're not of age or something like that? I did read a piece of news about... let me see if I can find it because I did link it somewhere. There is it was a state in the US, I believe, that piece of news. And Pornhub, Utah, Pornhub is blocking people from Utah because of the age verification thing. But interesting stuff, guys. God, we covered so much stuff today. Thank you. I had so much fun. Guys, thank you so much for being here live. I'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning, but instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with Natch and I, and it means the absolute world. I'll see you tomorrow.